Hi guys, it's Daniel Faust. I know I'm a little early, but we are pivoting and readjusting. A war hero to superhero goes over and takes what gets thrown in front of him and then goes over and still delivers. So unfortunately, you can keep John Rankin, our guest, in your prayers and your thoughts. He has a double herniated disc, so he is drugged up and in his bed. So we quickly went over and we're going to redeem this time to still give you great content in connecting in the living room. So we won't be talking about vacationing time today, but today we'll talk about a little something different. So if you're expecting him live, I'm sorry. Keep him in your thoughts and your prayers as he goes over and heals from his two herniated discs. I did that 3 years ago, and it took me 3 months to recover. Fortunately, he's just drugged up, so at least that's what I'm getting from. So let's jump into our new content right on the fly. So if you're like, woo, this is a little raw, well, that's what it was. So as Thursday, we've been talking about all this week is about reconnecting in the living room. So today we still have our kids leaving virtual school in the next few days. My daughter's parade got canceled today due to weather. We had to get adjusted to that too. And we went over and we're having that tomorrow. But school is jumping on the next couple of days. Maybe your kids are already out of school. Maybe they've already handed their books and things of nature. And as they jump out of the class, us as parents need to enroll into a back to school type curriculum. And the cool thing is that we provide this free to you this week. You don't need to enroll. You don't have to worry about registrations and credits and all those things to help you connect with your kids. So we always encourage you to work on a bachelor's degree in your kids because you can get a bachelor's degree in structural design, but in 5 to 7 years, boop, it's gone. You get a bachelor's degree in your kids, you go over and last for a lifetime. So I hope you're ready to enroll because our curriculum is going to help you fast track your degree in each kid. And now you're going to be going into our fourth class this week. And if you haven't enrolled in any of our classes, please go listen to our podcast because we podcast these afterwards on Pedopolo, or you can go on YouTube and Facebook and go watch it in the replay. Again, this is always a dialogue, never a monologue. So come jump in the living room with us to go back to school 400 family night. So you need ideas for family night, and we are the match to your idea bonfire. So let's go jump in. The first off, I want you to go start wrestling with this is the concept of 3 hours. If you're an average 9 to 5er and you're going back to work, you're not working 9 to 5. You're working from like 7 in the morning, getting up and then going to work and getting there for 9. And then you might leave at 5, but it depends on what the workflow is. And then you jump in your car, and depending on what city you live in, either in a metropolitan or on a military base and whatnot, no matter where you live, you might have a 5-minute commute. You might have a 3-hour commute. And I have been on both extremes. And the average time of family time getting home, if you get home between 5 to 6 p.m., is you have an average of 3 hours a day to go be with your kids. And then you have the weekends. We try as Americans to make it up and go do Saturday and Sunday. But guess what? If you're not consistent with your kids in those 3 hours a day, you could go over and get destroyed. So we wanted to give you some tips, some things that we've done over the years, some of the things that we're still working on and as we're in it. And we'd love to hear your ideas on what you bring to go over and stay connected to family, because those 3 hours a day is not much. But the thing is, even if you're investing a little bit of time or those 3 hours a day with your family on a regular basis, it cumulatively goes over and builds. It's kind of like brushing your teeth. You only do 2 minutes to brush your teeth, 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes in the evening. You're like, what a waste. Why can't I just brush my teeth an hour every week? It's a cumulative work. And it's the same thing in the family. It's a cumulative work. So what are you going to do with those 3 hours? We want to give you some ideas. So first one we want to go over and recommend is lift the big rocks out of the way. Chores and other things can go take lots of time. And as you increase your revenue, we usually increase our spending. But our spending stuff, it doesn't really carry. We go over and buy ourselves fancy clothes and mics and fancy water from boxes. But the thing we can't get back is time. We have 86,400 seconds in a day. If that was $864 a day and you had to spend it in a day, how would you spend it? Would you spend it well, or would you just blow it out? Because time has always been heard is time is money. So what big rocks could you lift out of the way? One of the ones that we did is I do all the laundry. And the way I go do it is I go back to the laundromat. The average good laundry machine is going to cost you $500 to $2,000. You can go to the laundromat and get laundry done in 2 hours to go over and get that done a week instead of spending an hour to 2 hours a night on going over laundry. Is there chores you can just bulk all up and get done in the evenings? Is there a way you can build strategies with your kids to take that load because your kids are home as they get older? Maybe you can incentivize it and do commissions like we do in the house. What big rocks could you lift out of your way to gain back that family time? So something to think about. Have you gone over and done that? I'd love to go hear it in the chat. Going from there is the family dinner. As much as you can, family dinner is usually the best time to go over and to connect with the kids and everything else. And sometimes the lesson that I'm learning is you got to have a loud house. They'll just go over and talk about everything and anything. And it might take a lot of those crazy, really weird, kooky conversations you wish you weren't involved to go over and connect with your kids. So I'd highly encourage you to at least a few times a week or more to have that family dinner. Even if you have to modify family dinner for a bit. Again, the kids are 0 to 5, it's going to be hard to go over and do. They need that structure. When they're 5 to 12, you still want to give that structure, but not as much. You can modify a little bit. Once they get 12 to 18, you can modify family dinner to pretty much what the time is available. But wherever you can get those 3 hours in to go over and squeeze in, go over and do that at the dinner table. A couple more recommendations is to take a walk or take a bike ride. We all need physical activity to go over and stay healthy. It doesn't matter if you're 5 years old or 500 years old. Haven't met anybody that's 500. But taking a walk and taking a bike ride is another side-by-side conversation that you can go over and do to go over and to connect. They might not always want to do it, but over time, if you do a cumulative and then you have those deep connection talks from shoulder to shoulder and then going from face to face, it really goes over and helps. And usually the 5 to 12-year-olds are usually more apt to go over and to do that than the 13 to 18-year-olds. So start the habit early of going over and doing this on a regular basis. When's the last time you've taken a bike ride? Do you remember how to ride a bike? Maybe it's time to go jump on and to go over and do that. It can be an electric scooter. It can be a electric skateboard, whatever it is, it's getting that time to go share together, or maybe a run, Going from there, one of my favorite ones, which we just invented, and it's not our wheel itself, but it's the Faust family wheel. Let me see if I can get it pulled up for you. So there's an app called Spin the Wheel on the iPhone, and I'm going to try to pull it up and see if I can show it on the screen. And we have a Faust family night wheel. It might not come up well, but you go to spin that wheel, and we programmed it to have 8 to 10 different options. So I have 2 wheels, and you can program as many wheels as you want on this thing. Trying to see if I can show you. There we go. That might be good. All right. So we have this wheel and this digital wheel on the phone. And again, you can't see it that well, but I'll send you a screenshot if you want me to have it. And we go over and we put activities of like coloring, puppet show, bingo, dance party, audio book, video game, movie, board games, and things of nature. And then that was not fast. Let's spin that wheel again. You spin the wheel, and then based on there, you have a new activity. And then you go over and work with that activity. Some of the activities are going to be, when you're watching a movie, it's just, other ones are not. It goes over and breaks up the monotony, different ways to go over and connect with your family, and doesn't leave you in the bored cycle of always watching a movie or always going out to eat or always doing this and whatnot. So it breaks it up a little bit, does a little challenge, and, we institute that in that wheel. We institute it on Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, and Saturday nights. More on Saturday nights than anything else, but it's an idea to go over and use. And here's the other rule to go over and that we use. It's not a rule, it's a guideline, sorry. One of the guidelines we recommend is that it's also teaching balance of time and responsibility. And we do this in our house, and if you want to take it, that's fine. We have 80% individual family night, 90% corporate night, and 100% unconditional. So what this goes over and means is that if you watched our lives a few weeks ago, we went over and showed you a board and how we go balance out the life, especially with COVID and especially with summer. And we have things that they're supposed to go do throughout the day because COVID can get crazy because you just came home and your whole schedule got wrecked. So we created a new schedule And on Tuesday nights, family night is on Tuesday night, Thursday night, and Saturday night. But I wanted to teach them some things about honoring time and everything else. So Tuesday night is 80% compliance in their chores and schedule, and it's individual in the sense of all the individual kids go over and get that time. So if some of the kids don't get their chores done, then they don't get to be part of that family night. We offer it several times a week, so bear with me. Then on Thursday night, which is tonight, is 90% corporate. Now they can all work together as a team to go get it done. And as long as they meet 90% of the compliance of what we say the chore is, and we've had discussions on this, then it's an all or nothing family night. So they can make it as long as short as they want. We don't go over, and we usually get dinner done by 6, or 6:30. So my family dinners are on different days. So on that night, they all work together tonight to go get their chores done. As long as they're 90% in compliance, then we have a family night that everybody's involved. So no individual gets left behind. So no family member gets left behind. The last one is on Saturday is 100% unconditional. So no matter what happens, no matter what they go over and get done, it's unconditional family night. We want all the chores to get done, but they have an entire day to go over and do that. So we still do it. It's like, how much time do you want? Do you want 30 minutes because you waited until 9:30 to go get done? Or do you want to have 3 hours and to have that? So we're going to have a family night no matter what. We're going to have fun. We're going to spin the wheel. We're going to do something. Or maybe we'll just go out and go do that. And these are the ones that are scheduled family nights. So we also do impromptu things throughout the week, but these things are habitually scheduled. So they're prepared. They understand Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. They really get excited for Saturday because they get to binge all day to recharge and relax from online school or school. And then they go over and then they get a family night of their choice. We also have a wheel that spins on the child that goes over and chooses the activity too. So a couple other things to go over. Next tip is the balance between taking care of the bedroom to show the importance of family time. If you're in conflict constantly in the bedroom, you could go over and still do family time and it means nothing to them. If you and your spouse are divided, they're going to know, and they know it's going to be a falsified family time. And they're going to be disconnected and divided, and it's not going to be that emotional, spiritual, mental reconnect as a family in the living room if you're not balancing stuff in the bedroom. So if your bedroom relationship's on the rocks, you need to take that priority. Even on the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday schedule we go over and do, we can take priority Monday, Wednesday, Friday evenings, and Sunday to recharge in the bedroom. The kids know after 8:30 in our house, you can stay up if it's not your bedtime, but no room, no parents, no nothing. You guys now prep yourself going to bed. Usually your kids are usually 10 plus, at least in our opinion, to go over and to go do that. So make sure you're balancing the bedroom ops, because family time means jack squat if your bedroom's on fire. Going from there, events are great. This is another thing as we balance back, and this is like from now until future, people are going to jump back into events and activities and go to things and whatnot. And the power that you have to go over and balance the living room is you don't have to say yes to everything. I'm not sure if you guys wrestle with this. I know I don't, but I know other people go over and do. Do you have a problem going saying no to people? Well, COVID allowed you to say no for legit reasons. Now you have an opportunity to go over and say no and don't say yes for everything. Because once we get back into this environment of summer camps reopen and friends parties and everything else, and once we get back into school, they're just going to throw activities, throw sports, and throw everything in there. Events are great, sports are great, but you don't need to say yes to everything, because your family time is going to carry a lot more than just a sporting event or a party. Could you tell me the last 3 birthday parties you went to, their names, what you bought them, and what you ate? I'll be shocked if you can tell me one, because more than likely you've forgotten like whose birthday it was that you went to last. What food did you go over and eat? Where was the place, and who did you talk to? So Events are great, but you don't have to say yes to everything. One of the other things, a suggestion is to keep the living room connected is that we give the kids usually a 2-week rule, but be flexible. What does that mean? By the time your kids are like more the 8 to 12 mentality, they can write stuff down, they can go over, remember, they can use their smart devices and everything else to get a schedule. Maybe they even have email, like all my kids have emails through the school system. We usually get notified way far in advance on things, don't we? They usually say in the announcements. So for the past several years, we told our kids, like, it's a 2-week rule. You get invited to a kid's birthday party, it's 2 weeks. You get invited to go over and go to a book sale, it's 2 weeks. You go over and want to go to this special event that you've been practicing for 3 months on this thing, and then you don't tell us like 2 days prior. Most times we follow that rule, but be flexible. You don't have to be that rigid because you can destroy your living room if you follow the rules. And I'm pixelating again. You can destroy your living room too if you go over and never go out with your kids outside the living room to go over and to connect with their worlds in the classroom. You're going to the boardroom, you're going to the war room. Their classroom is their boardroom, their war room, and they want to. And those experiences for them, they intertwine. For us, we don't tend to do that as much as a society anymore. But the kids, the school, in a sense, is almost like an extension of their living room. So we want to honor the living room, but we understand that sometimes you need to extend out into other people's living rooms and maybe the kids' classrooms, which is an extension of their living room, to go over and do that. So 2-week rule is a good thing, a rule of thumb. It teaches them responsibility, it teaches them scheduling, but be flexible in that regard. So give yourself room for grace to go and do that, and make sure your schedule and your wife or your husband's schedule has that flexibility. Another suggestion idea is integrate the kids' friends into family nights. Sometimes your kids might not want to do family night because they haven't had time with their friends or they want to go over. How about you go over and put in your schedule, you can integrate your kids' friends in the family night. Of course, get the family's permission and whatnot and make sure everything is safe and copacetic in post-COVID world. But the thing is that you can go over and then show that family love at the same time and then show your kids a different type of love and respect to their friends in that particular regard. And then they might want to connect with you more. So if you're letting them connect with their friends and let them maybe stay over for dinner or stay over for a movie. Again, we left our parameters open when we used to do this before COVID. It was like on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It was Tuesdays and Thursdays before we did a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. We used to do this Tuesdays and Thursdays that from 3 o'clock until 6 o'clock until after dinner, their friends could come over. Just, hey, give us at least 5-minute warning on your smartwatch. Give us a call to go invite your friend. But we allowed them to come over and then we were prepared for them. And we prefer more days in advance, but it depends on your kid. Some of your kids are going to go over and want to schedule things way in advance, and your other kids are like impromptu. So you give them scheduled spontaneity that they can spontaneously do Tuesdays and Thursdays with like little to no notice. A couple other things. Vacations can be just time away from the boardroom. A lot of times we as Americans go over, and John was going to come on to give some great stay-at-home options, that vacations don't have to be elaborate and go out to always Florida or Hawaii or Cancun. Those things are great. Like we're going to the Bahamas in 2022 to do a real wedding. We'd love for you guys to go over and come. We'll get you guys more details later. But vacations don't have to be thousands of miles away. We don't leverage where we're at. People in Hawaii that go back to California, people that are in California that go down to Florida, people that go live in North Dakota in the beautiful mountains over there, and they go over and they go down to Texas, people that are in Texas that go to Rhode Island. I personally don't like Rhode Island, but that was my home state. But you can even leverage the area that people come to. People come to Delaware to go vacation. I know it's weird, isn't it? But the thing is that you can leverage that time just to get out of the boardroom and get some more living room time to go over and do that. And here's a little tip too. Once school restarts, most schools allow you to miss up to 10 days. So maybe you go over and you take off a random Wednesday and you pluck your kid out for that Wednesday, schedule it out. Tell your kid, like, hey, just so you know, you're going to have to make up school if you want to do this impromptu day out, and take it off. Those are going to carry more than the academic classes, especially with current education and whatnot. We kind of, yeah, we don't carry education as high as we used to. So you'll just press on. So the education that you're going to have in the family and the moments are going to be more important. Also, another opportunity is let them plan a family time together. You go over and you can institute the Faust spin wheel and get download the spin wheel and go over and let the kid choose, and then let the kid choose on what the family time is. We do that occasionally, to go over and do that. They got in conflict one time. William spun the wheel and we did Minecraft for 2 hours. Maybe not the best thing that we wanted to do, but that's what he wanted to do. And we go over and we share each other's experiences. Family time's not always going to be fun for all. Sometimes you go do those things fun for them, in that particular, especially as parents. Family time is usually not for us. So something to go over and challenge your thinking. We got a couple more things. Unique holidays. That's a cool thing to go over and do. You go over and they have these calendars that have a holiday every single day. In our household, we do 2 a month. Next Sunday or Monday, this Sunday or Monday is National Lobster Day. So we will go over and celebrate. We'll have a lobster dinner, and we'll probably schedule our live a little later for that particular day and go over and we're going to have to do lobster. We're going to do like lobster mac and cheese and then biscuits from Red Lobster, but that's what we're doing for that day, to go over and celebrate that day. Trinity went over and chose it. Great opportunity. Another strategy to go over and keep your living room connected with family nights and whatnot is he or she, whoever you're married to, I'm married to my wife, whoever's your husband, whatever way you go, he or she should get the first hug and last hug. Again, that's going to go over and show that your bedroom front is strong, so then you can invest that time in the living room front. My son, even though he gets irked about it, and he's like, you haven't given mom a hug yet? I'm like, I'm giving her the first hug and I'm giving her the last hug. Your kids should not get the most love from you. Your love should be outpouring from your marriage and out of your bedroom. So your family time is going to be more fruitful if you give he or she the first hug and the last hug. And that's the same thing for coming home. That's the same thing for going over and before leaving for work and whatnot. So they need to understand that their love should be outpouring from your love in the bedroom into the living room. Our last one for tonight is walk the walls of Jericho, but don't forget to deal. This doesn't matter in family time if you have a family room, living room conflict, or if you're having a bedroom room conflict that poured into the living room. You have those moments, your spouse, and you go over and talk, and then you get into an argument, and the next thing you know, it's just like, sometimes bashing the walls are going to go over and work. But what works more effective, and this is one lesson I continue to struggle with, but I'm continuing to learn better each and every day, is walk the walls of Jericho. And what that means is it's an old Bible story, actually. It's when they got commanded not to go bash the walls down. They had to walk the walls of Jericho for 7 days, one time a day. And then on the 7th day, they walked it 7 times. And it's like walking a big, huge city block. It took like hours. And then the walls came tumbling down. So if you're having conflicts in the living room, definitely if you have conflicts in the bedroom, you got to walk the walls of Jericho and let the walls come tumbling down to work out those conflicts. So you have good times in the living room reconnecting. But don't forget to go over and deal. If you walk around the walls of Jericho and the wall never falls, the conflict's still there. So it's got to be both-sided, that you're both going over and you're walking. And the goal is to work through the conflicts. So if it's you and your spouse, or you and your kids, or your kids versus you guys as parents, no matter what it is, sometimes it's worth it just to walk. But don't forget to go over and to deal, because time can make us forget about things, but another trigger will go over and go. So definitely challenge you to guys go do that. So I want to thank you guys for going over and joining. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully you share it. Hopefully you can subscribe to our Patreon if you want to take your marriage, your family, leadership to the next level. We'd love to hear what ideas you have for family time. This is always, always, always a dialogue. Doesn't matter if you watch this 10 years from now or 10 seconds from now. We'd love to go hear it in the comments. We'd love to hear it in the feed. And your superhero challenge for today is to share your favorite photos of your family time. You can have it populated on my wall and tag me personally. You can go over and put it on the Learn and Live page. You can go over and put it maybe even on, well, you can't put it on YouTube, but you can go and find our War Hero to Superhero Twitter, and you can go put it there, or War Hero to Superhero Facebook page. We'd love for you to go share your photos of your family time whenever you go over and watch this. Just do hashtag reconnect living room, and we'll know that you watched the episode this week. So as always, we want to thank you for going over and joining. If you are struggling in the living room with your relationships with your kids, or in the bedroom or in the boardroom, wherever your relationships are struggling at, we'd love to go over and connect with you. 20 minutes is free for every military veteran, first responder. And if you want to take your relationships to the next level, go to the Patreon, check out the offers that we go over and give. For as little as $5 a month, 1 cup of coffee, you can go over and help you grow in your marriage and become that marriage superhero, or that family superhero, or that leadership superhero, or the total package of there. We'd love to go over and serve you. We'd love to go over and connect with you. Thank you for your time. We'll see you guys tomorrow back one more time for Reconnecting in the Living Room in our final topic. Shh, it's a secret. You'll find out tomorrow. All right. You guys have a good day. Bye.